San Jose, California, the capital of Silicon Valley, is indeed home to the best and the brightest in the world of high technology. For those who speak the language of computerese, tonight have joined the ranks of others from all walks, heading here to the San Jose Arena to marvel at the best and brightest of another profession, the stars of the National Hockey League. A capacity crowd is on hand here, the 107th consecutive sellout here at the Shark Tank. They're all here to cheer their favorites. As Fox Sports presents the 47th NHL All-Star Game. As we hear the final strings of the national anthem, we welcome you inside of the Shark Tank here at the San Jose Arena. Good evening, everyone. I'm James Brown, and thank you for joining us for tonight's All-Star Contest. And I'm pleased to be joined on this debut telecast of the NHL by my partner, former New York Rangers defenseman, Dave Maloney. And Dave, I tell you, there's been so much talk about the young legs of the West All-Stars versus, I guess, the savvy of the established All-Stars on the East. Who does conventional wisdom favor?
Well, you know what, JB? I'm a 40-year-old. I'm going to throw that conventional wisdom out the window. I'm going to go with the savvy of the East. But in all seriousness, the West, due to injury, out of the lineup is Mike Modano, Joe Sakic, and Peter Forsberg. Their 42 goals are going to be missed if indeed this game becomes the shootout that we expect the NHL All-Star Game to become.
All right, you know, and a wonderful human interest story as far as the West All-Stars are concerned in the person of Tony Granato. He was added by the commissioner to the West All-Star squad and recently elevated as a starter because of the injury to Joe Sakic. What a wonderful story he is.
It's absolutely a terrific story. It was a year ago that Tony Granato went headfirst into the boards in Hartford. 2 weeks later, he went under for brain surgery, came out of that a year later. He's playing in the NHL All-Star Game. At Boston last year, we talked about the return of Mario Lemieux from Hodgkin's disease. We assume that the elite athlete is bulletproof. Life is humbling. Tony Granato, a terrific story.
A nice story indeed, just to return to health, much less to be out there on the ice skating. Well, folks, we've got a third member of our broadcast team who's joining us, an ex-NHL defenseman, and Joe Micheletti, who's standing by with a couple of bright stars.
Okay, JB, thanks very much. I'm with two of the greatest players of all time, Wayne Gretzky and Mario Lemieux. And first, Wayne, you know, a lot of people wrote you off last year. They were talking about an old 35-year-old. Well, the move to New York, did that make you younger?
Well, I really enjoy myself there, and you know, it's a great place to live, and what a wonderful place to play hockey, and playing again with some really great hockey players, and obviously playing with Messi has really been a lot of fun for me, which I knew it would be, but it's probably been more fun than I could have ever imagined. So it's been everything that I thought it would be.
All the tremendous records individually, the 4 Stanley Cups. When it comes to making the All-Star team and being selected, let's talk about pride a little bit. How does that fit into all this?
Well, it's always an exciting time, and I have the same feelings as I did in my first game. You know, it's a great thrill to be here, and I'm going to get a chance to play with guys like Mario, and it really is fun, and it's an honor to be part of this, and we're going to have some fun tonight, and we're looking forward to it.
Good luck to you. Mario Lemieux, your comeback has been more health-related, and it's been a tremendous comeback, but there's been a lot of talk recently about this might be your last All-Star game. Will it be, and when will the decision be made?
Well, as I said many times before, this is probably my last year, and that's what I told the organization earlier this summer when I made my decision to come back for one more year, and decision's going to be made probably at the end of the season, a couple of weeks after, but it looks like I'm going to be playing a lot more golf next year than hockey, that's for sure.
Does this game then have a particular meaning? Is it more emotional for you to know that you'll be sitting in the locker room with Wayne and some of the other great stars, and this looks like it'll be your last All-Star game?
Yeah, I think the All-Star Game is always special for the players. We have a chance to spend a couple of days together and play with great players, and actually looking forward to playing with Wayne tonight and probably Bondra, so should be exciting for us.
Well, I certainly wish both of you a great night, have a lot of fun, and JB, let's go back to you.
All right, Joe, thank you very much, and fun we will enjoy tonight in this star-laden affair. But before we get to the action on the ice, let's join in with some of this evening's festivities.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the Eastern Conference All-Stars. From the New Jersey Devils, number 30, Martin Brodeur. From the Buffalo Sabres, number 39, Dominik Hasek. From the New York Devils, number 4, Scott Stevens. From the Philadelphia Flyers, number 7, Paul Coffey. From the Montreal Canadiens, number 8, Mark Recchi. From the Ottawa Senators, number 9, Daniel Alfredsson. From the New York Rangers, number 11, Mark Messier. From the Washington Capitals, number 12, Peter Bondra. From the Philadelphia Flyers, number 15, Dale Howard-Chuk. From the New York Islanders, number 16, Scott Lachance. From the Hartford Whalers, number 18, Jeff Sanderson. From the Boston Bruins, number 21, Adam Oates. From the Florida Panthers, number 24, Robert Smela. From the Washington Capitals, number 32, Dale Hunter. From the Pittsburgh Penguins, number 44, Kevin Hatcher. From the Pittsburgh Penguins, number 66, Mario Lemieux. From the Philadelphia Flyers, number 88, Eric Lindros. And now, ladies and gentlemen, the Eastern Conference starting lineup as selected by you, the fans. In goal, from the Florida Panthers, number 34, John Van Beesbroek. On defense from the New York Rangers, number 2, Brian Leach. And for the Boston Bruins, number 77, Ray Bourque. And now for the wingers, replacing Jaromir Jagr from the Philadelphia Flyers, number 10, John LeClair. And for the Tampa Bay Lightning, number 22, Dino Ciccarelli. At center, from the New York Rangers, the NHL's all-time record goal scorer, number 99, Wayne Gretzky. The head coach for the Eastern Conference All-Stars, from the Florida Panthers, Doug McLean. Assistant coach for the Hartford Whalers, Paul Maurice. And now the Western Conference All-Stars. The goaltenders from the Dallas Stars, number 35, Andy Moe. Replacing the injured Chris Osgood from the Mighty Ducks of Anaheim, number 31, Guy Hebert. From the St. Louis Blues, number 2, Al McGinnis. From the Dallas Stars, number 3, Darian Hatcher. From the Chicago Blackhawks, number 10, Tony Amonte. And from your San Jose Sharks, number 11, Owen Nolan. From the Toronto Maple Leafs, number 13, Matt Sundin. From the Calgary Flames, number 14, Theoren Fleury. From the Mighty Ducks of Anaheim, number 17, Teemu Solani. Replacing Peter Forsberg from the Detroit Red Wings, number 18, Brendan Shanahan. From the Detroit Red Wings, number 19, Steve Yzerman. From the Phoenix Coyotes, number 20, Oleg Tvernovsky. From the Detroit Red Wings, number 22, Vyacheslav Fetisov. From the Edmonton Oilers, number 70, Jason Arnott. From the Phoenix Coyotes, number 77, Keith Tkachuk. Replacing the injured Rob Lane from the Los Angeles Kings, number 80, Dmitry Kristich. And for the Vancouver Canucks, number 96, Pavel Bure. And now, ladies and gentlemen, the Western Conference starting lineup as selected by you, the fans. In goal, from the Colorado Avalanche, number 33, Patrick Waugh. On defense, the Russell Athletic top vote getter from the Chicago Blackhawks, number 7, Chris Chelios. And for the Colorado Avalanche, number 8, Sandis Ozelich. And now the wingers from the St. Louis Blues, number 16, Brett Hall. From the Mighty Ducks of Anaheim, number 9, Paul Correa. And replacing Joe Sakic as a starter from your San Jose Sharks, number 21, Tony Granato. Head coach for the Western Conference All-Stars from the Dallas Stars, Kent Hitchcock. Assistant coach of the Colorado Avalanche, Mark Crawford. Ladies and gentlemen, your 1997 NHL All-Stars.
When we return, the guys who will be calling the action, Mike Emmerich and John Davidson, will join you, but that after this celestial drop of the puck. 2, 1, lift off.
I'm Ken Cockrell, commander of the Space Shuttle Columbia, and it is an honor to drop the first puck for the 1997 NHL All-Star Game, the coolest game on and off the Earth. Everybody ready?
Galaxy to another, to a fin with a glove on it. They built San Jose Arena to withstand a Richter scale quake of 8.3, but will it be able to take the noise and excitement, the automatic sellout of 17,442 to see this 1997 All-Star Game? Hi, everybody. Along with John Davidson, I'm Mike Emmerich. Thrilled and honored to be a part of this All-Star telecast with the best in hockey here, and maybe a final All-Star chapter for Mario Lemieux.
I think so, Mike. You heard Mario tell Joe Micheletti that this probably will be his last one. I think it is. He's on his farewell tour. He's stopping to sign more autographs, do more interviews with people. Listen, he's in his 8th All-Star game. He'll be on a line with Wayne Gretzky. Let's enjoy it. I mean, he's brought a lot to the game, and he's really excited about being here. I think he's going to put a show on. I really do.
Well, the average age for the East is 30. The average for the West is 27. Let's bring that West average down a little.
Well, yeah, Mario 31. Let's look at Paul Correa, only 22. He plays with the Mighty Ducks of Anaheim. He was injured earlier in the season with an abdominal muscle strain. He has to practice his stretching 4 times a day, even on days where he doesn't play in games. He's got speed. I think we'll enjoy watching his speed.
Teams are out on the ice right now. We're about to get started for this game, but the important thing in the minds of San Jose fans, a collision and memory loss, brain surgery, recovery, free agency, and now he's a starter, and all of that in 12 months. A magnificent moment for Tony Granato as we begin this All-Star Game from San Jose. Sandis Ozelich, the West in the dark, the East in the light. Brian Leetch, but then Chris Chelios. And on now for Correa, who fed one in front, and Hull was stopped point blank by John Van Beesbroek. It is Van Beesbroek and Waugh in goal for the first time since the final game of last spring's Stanley Cup Finals. Puck flipped back out, and Chelios turns it on. And here is a chance for Nolan, circling, but he had no one to pass to. Loose puck is jammed wide on the backhand by local favorite Theo Fleury. I'm exaggerating. LeClaire with a pass on to Wayne Gretzky. Cicerelli. And then Gretzky. but then Nolan.
First big save goes to John Van Beesbrook, robbing Brett Hull. Brett Hull felt he had a great chance at winning the MVP here simply because he'd get a lot of scoring chances, and he did from Paul Correa. Van Beesbrook with a big save to start his first period of goaltending.
Daniel Alfredson of the Ottawa Senators played it ahead, but then it's dealt back on for the carry by big Kevin Hatcher. Hatcher's pass was offside.
Doug McLean is the head coach of the Eastern Conference. He was the coach in last year's All-Star Game, backed up by Paul Maurice. Paul Maurice will change the defenseman. Doug will change the forwards. Of course, he's the head coach of the Florida Panthers. And I think there's a good look at Paul, who will change the defenseman. He's the head coach of the Hartford Whalers. And I think during the last shift of this game, you're going to see Gretzky, Messier, and Lemieux on the ice at the same time, since it's quite possibly, and I think will be, Mario's last ever game. There's a new helmet right there, Mike, that a couple of the players are wearing. It's a helmet that's bigger, it's lighter, and it's got a lot more padding. And with the injuries we've seen regarding concussions throughout the National Hockey League, they're trying to improve the helmet and the wear to protect players. The one that Wayne wears isn't quite as protective.
Well, that's not exactly the shining example, is it? Fox Tracks, of course, is with you. The Fox spots are here. It is Steve Yzerman flipping one that went off the back of Brendan Shanahan, teammate in Detroit. Wayne Gretzky is wired for sound this afternoon, and Brett Hull of the West, a two-line pass, stops the clock. Wayne Gretzky's next point will give him the all-time lead in All-Star competition from Gordie Howe. Just what he needs, one more record. His first game played was Howe's last All-Star game, and that was in 1980 in Detroit.
And he was on a line with Tiger Williams, not noted as a goal scorer. Mike Murphy was now a coach in Toronto, and he played against Scotty Bowman's coach team of Réal Cloutier, Guy Lafleur, and Gilbert Perreault. And Scotty matched up against Wayne. Wayne didn't have a good night. After the game, Wayne's father, Walter, the famous hockey dad, said, "Wayne, here's a puck. Take a look at it." He goes, "What for?" He says, "Well, you didn't touch it all night long. You may want to see what one looks like now." And they lost the game. By the way, Gordie Howe played in that game in Detroit, 1980.
The last of a record number that he played in. Puck flipped back over now for a turn back along by Jeff Sanderson for Lindros, but instead it's Ozolinsh. Gave it away to Lindros, and the backhander was wide. And now it is Sanderson. Little flip in front. He was trying for Lindros. Robert Svela of the Florida Panthers. Rolled along behind for the clear off the glass, and waiting his coffee. In front on a point-blank stop by Patrick Waugh on Sanderson. Both of these goaltenders are primed. Paul Coffey with it. Pass for Lindros. Turn back along. It would be an offside play, so the West has to let it go. Coffey flips, and it skipped away from Adam Oates. Feathers it across. Howard took a shot, and that one went off the blocker of Patrick Waugh. Teemu Selanne couldn't get it ahead. Well, it's too early to say for sure, John, but we saw pretty good goaltender dominance last year in Boston. Only 9 goals were scored, a 5-4 thriller. And we've seen strong goaltending at the start here by the 2 goalies that the fans had the wisdom to select.
And on top of that, we're seeing some fine passing. I think that's what we have to watch and admire here in a game such as this. We're not seeing hitting, but we're seeing passing, skill-level plays.
Oleg Tverdovsky got it to Correa. Could not get a pass away, but it came back to him. Paul Correa centered for Selanne. Knocked right back to Selanne, though. Dealt it to Correa, and he shoveled it in on Van Beesbrook.
And those two play on the same line for the Mighty Ducks of Anaheim. You can tell they know where each other is on the ice at all times.
Teemu Selanne's pass eventually sent on back, but the West cannot control there, and it's dumped on back further for Chris Chelios.
Jason Arnott playing number 70 for the West, playing with 2 screws that he had put in his ankle recently to correct a fracture. He's only played 1 game prior to the All-Star game, but he wanted to be here so bad that he's here playing in pain.
This is Gretzky. Oh, he was trying for Lemieux and didn't get him. Started back ahead by Tverdovsky, but it went all the way down for the retrieval by Raymond Bourque. Picked up by Dmitry Kristich of Los Angeles. It ricocheted back to Ozolinsh, and a shot went wide. Turned back along by Cicerelli. Good back checking, though, by Tony Granato. Fed it across to Kristich, and a pad stop by Van Beesbrook. Granato kicking it along, and Gretzky, the captain of the East, lays it out for Scott Stevens from New Jersey. Cicerelli back over to Mario Lemieux. Lemieux tried to center, but that failed because of Chelios. Dealt along to Ozolinch. Wayne Gretzky poked it along, and Cicerelli with Lemieux in front, and it's cut right off by Kristich.
Yeah, Kristich having a good shift here against the Gretzky, Lemieux, Cicerelli line. Doug McLean, the coach, said he put Cicerelli with Gretzky, Lemieux, and Cicerelli. He said, Dino, you better remember this. This could be a night of a lifetime. Enjoy it out there.
Dino Cicerelli knows Patrick Waugh, doesn't he?
Yeah, Patrick generally uses his goal stick during regular season games when Dino's around the top of the crease.
Amonte shot. Oh, and the rebound sent wide by Theo Fleury. He said he hoped he got booed in the introductions today. His wish was not denied. It's not from anything he's done on the ice other than score a lot of goals against San Jose. Messier led for Dale Hunter, but it's punched alone by Fleury. Brought on by Al McInnes, 3-on-1, but checking from behind by Paul Coffey freed it up. And we get an offside call. 14:28 to go, first period. 3 shots west, 1 east. No score. Superstition may be the way, and for Patrick Waugh, it's not about cats and ladders. It's about a very particular routine.
I'm gonna eat always the same thing: steak with potato and peas.
Think of a steak from Mr. Waugh.
And I'm gonna dress always the same way. You know, start my left, go to my right, and I put the name of my children under the tape on my shaft.
And what about his most obvious ritual?
He goes out and never touches any line, jumps over everything. I think that's funny.
Yeah, forget that one. There's too many, I guess.
John, how about another ritual like today, a size 58 jersey?
Oh, yes. His equipment is very well it's been documented. He fits it very well to help his job. 11 straight years of 20 or more wins, Mike. He's had a sensational career.
Here's Messier, saved by Waugh, and he covers.
And it was a back check of Tverdovsky, a fine skating defenseman who was able to get back and lift the stick on Messier as he moved in to make the play on Patrick Waugh. Tverdovsky grew up in Russia. The city he grew up had 1 million people in it. Only 1 ice rink. But there his skating and his reach got the stick away from Messier, and he couldn't get the shot. There's Tverdovsky. A little hook, and a little push, and Messier couldn't get the shot on Waugh.
Spela for the East, rolling it around to Dale Hunter. Hunter then turned it over for a pass by Bourque back to Coffey. Flipped one that ricocheted back across to Mark Recchi. Then Recchi to Coffey. Wristed one in front, but it went off the stick of Steve Yzerman. Yzerman on now for a play to be made by Brett Hull. Hull has Tverdovsky moving. Fed one that came over to Yzerman. Steve Yzerman from Detroit dropping it off behind for Hull and getting it back again. Yzerman drifts, nearly lost. Played a bank shot for Brendan Shanahan. Hull in front, and Shanahan put it off of Van Beesbrook, and then he's able to cover.
When the West moved up ice, Coffey showed great speed to get back. He was a defenseman caught up ice, and I think that's one thing that he's bringing to the Philadelphia Flyers is his ability to skate. And the Flyers feel if they get their power play going, watch out. The Flyers could be a dominant team and make a great run come playoff time. Paul was caught up ice, but his great legs, and he continually works on his conditioning. Today, yesterday, he spent additional time away from the ice surface, riding the stationary bike, always in top shape, and his skating has kept him in the game.
The all-time point leader in the NHL among defensemen. Eric Lindros had trouble finding that one. Lindros dropping one back, and then it ricocheted across for Leach. And so Brian Leach, Kevin Hatcher, and back out it sent, but too far. Chelios on a cross for Darian Hatcher. First brother combination to play against one another since '89, when it was Joe and Brian Mullen on opposite sides. In this All-Star game, the top 10 guys at collecting points in the history of the NHL in regular season. 2,670 for Wayne Gretzky and Messier and Lemieux and Coffey and Howard-Chuck. That's out of the top 10. Half of the top 10 are in this game.
Wow. Only 1,100-point lead. Is it for Wayne Gretzky?
Yeah.
1,100-point lead. Not bad. I think he'll hang on for a while.
Should be fine. Here's Chelios. And back ahead for the feather by Brewery on over for Keith Tkachuk, who tried to get it to Brewery, but instead it's Leach connecting to Kevin Hatcher. Lindros headmans to Howard-Chuck. Back over for Hatcher. hit the pipe with this shot. Best chance of the period. The iron comes up big. Knocked down by Lindros. Could not get to the front. And it's Keith Tkachuk, if they hurry, a 3-on-2. Gets it on to Pavel Bure. Bure just controlling and blasts one that's saved by Van Beesbroek. Boy, some strong goaltending here already, John.
And the help of a goal post for Patrick Waugh. I remember when he used to talk to his posts. Well, they didn't turn around and say thanks on the Hatcher shot. Hatcher and Leach for the defense pairing. How about that for pairing to head off ice, joining the forwards?
Bondra with a wrist shot, and that fought off by Waugh. Bondra again to Scott Stevens, and a save by Waugh.
Speed is something wonderful, and Bondra has it playing for the Washington Capitals. He's so excited about playing here, Mike. Said the #1 idea was to be in the same locker room as Wayne Gretzky. It just pumped him up, and what a shift he just had.
Solani used that speed to cut off the icing. Leclaire brushes it ahead. John Leclaire tried to follow up, but Jason Arnott brings it back. That's spiked away by the defensive Bork. Tony Granato. And the puck played on back by Bork and then to Stevens. Stevens' pass is brought right back again and dealt on to Leclaire. Leclaire fed it across. Shovel shot nearly connected with the breaking Adam Oates, who was at the front of the net. Teemu Solani walking it on back. Gives across to Correa. Moving in with Solani. Solani for Correa, but Scott Stevens in the way and is able to guide it wide.
It's a joy to watch Correa and Solani where the give and goes, and Scott Stevens had to be smart to break it up.
Bondra on a score by John Leclaire. That one looked like it went in. The light is on. For a moment, play continued, but this one counts, and John Leclaire from St. Albans, Vermont, has gotten the first goal of the game.
And the Philadelphia Flyers, John Leclaire put it up top, off the crossbar or goalpost, and Peter Bondra at the end of his shift made a wonderful pass across for Leclaire to make the play on top of the goal crease. And the East has themselves the 1-0 lead. Up top, the same spot where Hatcher hit the goalpost a moment ago on Patrick Waugh. Look at that elevated pass across. The top shelf shot. Leclaire and his team up 1-0 on Patrick Waugh in the West. Again, look at the pass. Backhanded, elevated pass over 2 sticks of the defenders right onto the stick blade of John Leclaire. You talk about skill. Look at the puck, and it settles right down. One quick move, and Leclaire's up 1-0.
Hey, beauty. Scott LaChance hands it back over to Svela. Robert Svela for the East in this 1-0 game. His team leading. The shots are 4 apiece. Pass went too far for Gretzky. Tverdovsky hooked at by Wayne Gretzky. Cicerelli knocked it loose for Lemieux. Can't get a shot away. Tkachuk starting it back. They've got a 4-on-2. Rolled along by Kristich. Tkachuk nearly feathered a backhand pass in front, but it's floated back off by Lemieux, then kept by Tkachuk. Flipped one that was knocked away to the corner by Dale Howardchuk, and then played by Kristich. Tony Granato. Missed for Kristich. Lemieux striding after this one and coming out of his goal, but not needing to make a play, was Waugh.
We're not seeing matching, are we, Mike? Kristich is on the ice 2nd time in a row against Lemieux.
Oh, a feed by Gretzky, and Lemieux just shelved it, and it's 2-0.
How about that? You know, the goals have been great shots, one by Leclaire and one by Lemieux, both up high on St. Patrick. But how about the passes? Bondra is the one that fed Leclaire, and Gretzky here, he makes the pass to feed Lemieux, and I believe he was on his backhand too. Marvelous plays. And for a goaltender in a situation like this, it's just give it a hope.
Yeah, you're dead.
And see if you can hit something. Man, here's the puck in behind the goal. The turnover is forced by Lemieux. Watch Gretzky in the office. He sees Lemieux. Look at the backhand pass, bullseye. Lemieux goes up high quickly. Patrick Waugh can't get across. It's 2-0. Gretzky's already looking. Lemieux knows he can get open. Look at the quick one-touch shot up top. 2-0 on the Eastern Conference board. Quick shot. Marvelous hands. Mario's last All-Star game. Look at the smile. Great pass from Wayne Gretzky. The last time they played together was in 1987. They beat Russia, which was then, I guess, the Soviet Union in the Canada Cup. They were marvelous there. And what a play that was.
Here is a Monty, a shot. Oh, and a remarkable save by Van Beesbroek. On that last goal by Lemieux, Wayne Gretzky now has more points than anyone ever had in an All-Star series of games. His 20th. He had been tied with Gordie Howe earlier.
Tony Amonte, the left-handed shot, challenges Van Beesbroek on the catching glove side. The Beezer's there. Man, Tony tried to get his team back in it. He was robbed.
So he's taken over the point record from Gordie Howe. This old newspaper article talks about Wayne coming off a 105-goal performance as a defenseman in Brantford at age 9. And the quote is, "Now Gordie Howe is my kind of player. He had so many tricks around the net. No wonder he scored so many goals. I'd like to be just like him." And he was 9 years old when he said it.
Wow. You know, tonight he'll go back to Los Angeles with his dad. Tomorrow he'll play golf before going back to New York to play for the Rangers. His dad's coaching in Ontario. His dad's team, Mike, 57-1. Bunch of young kids, 10-year-olds. 57-1.
57-1.
Good to see Walter coaching the kids just like he helped his son.
Daniel Alfredson along to Messier. Mark Messier dealt it behind. Mark Recchi with it there. Recchi dropped it off, but it's fed back to the point. Leach covers there for the East. 2-0. The Eastern Conference ahead. Just past the halfway mark of the first period. James Brown, Dave Maloney, Joe Micheletti, John Davidson, yours truly, Mike Emmerich, just thrilled to be here to watch some of the greatest hockey players to play in the modern era. And we can now say from the hockey world, because it is a world. Backhander, and another backhander by Nolan, and John Van Beesbrook will not budge.
Well, Van Beesbrook was perfect last night, 10 for 10 in a shooting contest during the Skills Friday evening night, and here he continues to battle. He's been perfect so far. Let's go downstairs to Joe Micheletti.
Okay, guys, I'm here with Tony Granato. Tony, just a marvelous ovation for you. What went through your mind when you came on the ice and heard all these great fans?
Obviously, they are great fans, and everybody in hockey knows that. But to be able to play in front of them is special for any player. But to have the All-Star Game here and be part of it is a great thrill for me and something I'll never forget.
Have you been able to settle down at all in the last few days?
It's been pretty hectic, but I got a lot of family in, so we're having a great time with it. And just try to make the most of it, have fun out here tonight, and maybe chip one in later on.
Congratulations on everything. Back upstairs to you guys.
A lot of family is right. His parents, Don and Natalie, are here. Sister Cammie is in Boston. She'd love to be here, but she's playing in a women's hockey tournament. She's going to be on the U.S. Women's Olympic team that will compete in Nagano in 1998.
What a fucking call.
Here is Hull ahead. Brett Hull moving in. Hull tried to center, but it was knocked loose at the side of the net by Raymond Bourque. And worked back on for a play to be made out over to Eric Lindros. The big man wheeling in. Lindros with a shot that's tipped away by Waugh. Tony Granato has a brother who is a coach in the United States Hockey League for a team called the Green Bay Gamblers. Puck fed back to the point to Bourque. No shot to result there, and Brendan Shanahan jabbed it ahead. Their colors are maroon, navy, blue, and gold, but they are in Green Bay. So on any day that the Packers play, they wear green jerseys.
Green jerseys.
Next weekend, they play in Des Moines on Saturday, but on Sunday, they're off. And they'll be watching. As we do this one, good catch, and he didn't lose much either. Next week, the NHL on Fox returns when Wayne Gretzky and the Rangers head to Pittsburgh to battle Mario Lemieux and the Penguins, plus other regional action. 3 Eastern, 12 Pacific, right here on Fox. That's a good way to kick off Super Bowl weekend. And then on Sunday, a lot of cheeseheads. And the Green Bay Gamblers will not be playing. They'll be watching, too.
Bill Parcells may have something to say about all this stuff we're talking about here. You know, the green and the gold. You know what I mean?
He might indeed. Mike Holmgren, the Green Bay Packers coach, quite a hockey fan. He's got a team right in his town, and he used to watch the Blackhawks, too, when his daughters were attending school in Chicago. Here is Bondra. Bondra dealing it along now for Dale Hunter. Flung it onto the back, and Scott LaChance has it. LaChance flicked one that bounced near Sundin. Hunter up with it. Hunter backhanded one that went off Tverdovsky. Bondra behind, and then John LeClair. Picked up by Hunter. Dealt it along to LeClair, who threw it through the crease, and LaChance has it. Scott LaChance along for LeClair, and the centering pass is cut off by Sundin. Pavel Bure brings it ahead. Bure and Kristich for the West. The West scoreless. It is Slava Fetisov beating one that's cut off by Coffey, and it's outletted on to John LeClair, who's got control and moves in. Shot one off Waugh wide.
What a reception of the pass. What a reception by LeClair, who had to turn around the opposite direction to take the Coffey pass.
They've got him outmanned. It's fed over for Coffey, but the pass errant, and now it's a 2-on-1 the other way. Bure moving in with Sundin. Pavel Bure fed Sundin, but it was broken up. by Scott LaChance. LaChance and Sundin testing. Leclerc with the first goal for the East, and Lemieux with the second. John Leclerc able to come up with this one and hand over to LaChance. And then Hunter. Hunter's pass is to Bondra, and Bondra lost to Chelios. It's quite an all-star week for the LaChance family. Scott LaChance's brother Bob played in the American League All-Star Game this past week. And the family decided, well, we'll go to the NHL All-Star Game. I guess we've got to make a choice here because we only have 2 days for both. Bouncing puck is chipped on over for Jason Arnott. Kevin Hatcher in to get that one. Big man on defense who came to Pittsburgh from the June draft. Hands to Lemieux, to Gretzky, and the shot went to the glass. Hatcher could not get by the checking of Arnott. And Chelios hands to Solani. Watched by Leach. Chelios. Chelios flipped it, went off Leach. Cicerelli hustling to it and brushes it ahead for Wayne Gretzky. Gretzky creeping in, dealt it over to Hatcher, side of the net. It's broken up and flipped back out for Solani all alone with Chelios. Solani to Chelios, and a save made by Van Beesbroek.
You know, you get into these all-star games and the players are so unselfish. You're almost seeing too many passes. But credit John Van Beesbroek. He's 8 for 8 so far. A two-man breakaway. Solani had to reach back for the puck. Chelios is with him. Puck doesn't really want to settle down. Van Beesbroek's on top of the crease, and there's a quick shot by the Chicago Blackhawks defenseman Chris Chelios, and Van Beesbroek's there. Puck won't really settle down. It's rolling a bit. A quick shot right into the body of Van Beesbroek. Solani moved the puck across, and there's Chelios jumping into the place. Every rush, Mike, we're seeing defensemen, sometimes both of them, jump into the offense.
It is Stevens on to Recchi. John is a former goalie in the NHL for 10 years. I know these are considered suicide games for goaltenders, but maybe this is changing with last year and this.
Well, Brodeur, who we will see later, he had a shutout during his period that he played last season. Those types of turnovers don't help, though.
Scott Stevens for that one. Circling his Kristich to play.
Goaltending's never been better than ever in the NHL than what we see now. We're seeing it here.
Alfredsson's shot is answered by Waugh. And then Recchi moving in. And that's in a year when the goaltenders are really being watched for their pads and blocker, measured randomly. Back comes Alfredsson, 3-on-1 to Messier with Recchi breaking. Messier fed to Recchi, scores! It is 3-0 in favor of the East.
Yeah, those blue lines are dangerous. The blue lines are dangerous. You turn the puck over going on the offense at the other team's blue line, and it'll trap 4 guys. When 4 guys get trapped, you're leaving your goaltender naked at the other end. And the East came right back the other way and finished the play nicely. Here you see there's been a turnover at that blue line. A lot of the guys are going this way. That creates a problem, big-time problem. Now all of a sudden back the other way goes the puck. And all the white and green move up ice. There's only one defenseman back. And look at the beautiful pass again. Hard, beautiful pass from Messier. The play's completed. We're seeing the offense with the passes towards the goal crease. Just perfect. Right on the blade of the stick. And Recchi was there. 3-0. Messier and Alfredsson get the assists.
So to review, Leclerc his first at 8:52 from Bondra and Stevens. Lemieux his 10th, and that ties him with Gordie Howe for second all-time in total goals in the All-Star Game. Gretzky getting an assist, that at 9:49, and now at 15:32, Recchi from Messier and Alfredsson. No penalties have been called by Rob Schick, the referee. Lindros moving in off his stick and played by Waugh to Tverdovsky. Last year, there were just 2 minors. Both were for too many men on the ice. Lindros in front for a shot. Oh, nailed it from Robert Svela's stick. Oh, what a save.
Oh, the Florida Panther defenseman Svela moved in. A brilliant pass across. And the net was wide open. It was just yawning at him. All he had to do was hit it. He hit it, but Waugh stabbed the puck out of the air with that catching glove. A brilliant save. Svela, I can't believe it, man. Can't believe it.
It's amazing how one play can change a career. Tony Amonte has been solid in his years with Chicago, but his series-clinching goal in the World Cup has given rise to a spectacular season.
The confidence I took away from just scoring that one goal, whether it went off my stick or my skate, it really gave me a big boost. You know, it just goes to show the excitement that I had to get this season going, and you know, I just try to use it to my advantage.
And Mikey scored 28 goals, as you see there, for Chicago this season. And yesterday he said he doesn't feel like he belongs here. He feels out of place. Can you imagine?
Best year he had was one of his early years with the Rangers when he got 35. We mentioned that Cammy will be in the Olympics. Lindros drops back to Howard-Chuck, then to Lindros. Out in front to Howard-Chuck, and a rebound, he scores! And his initial shot was saved by Waugh, and the rebound stuffed in.
Dale Howard-Chuck and Eric Lindros have played on the same line at various times this season for the Flyers. Howard-Chuck got his own rebound to beat Patrick Waugh, and it's a 4-0 Eastern lead. Here's having a strong second half to this first period. Lindros, the big train, got motoring on the left side of the ice, moved in deep. There you can see Chelios is back. Lindros. And as he does a spinorama, there's Howard-Chuck. He was not picked up at all by anybody, and he was able to score on the rebound. Nice 360 spinorama right here by Lindros. Yzerman was close to Howard-Chuck, but Howard-Chuck got free. 2 stabs at the puck. Again, look at the puck settle down. Lindros with a great turnaround. For a man his size, that is a really sharp, concise move that very few athletes his size can do. You think about basketball players, how big they are, and they spin in midair and stuff. Lindros did it at a great speed, showing the play to set up the goal.
Well, here he comes again. He's in alone. Save made by Waugh on Lindros, and did he ever show speed on that one? Lindros feeds, Howard-Chuck shoots, and he got the glass with the shot. And if he had any doubts, Waugh knows now he's not playing in Colorado. They're getting tremendous chances on him. Here's Lindros flipping one. Darian Hatcher hand passes it ahead, and it's brought on by Chelios. Gives to Yzerman. Moving up with Hull. It's rolled off Svela, taken by Shanahan, and chipped just past Yzerman, who was breaking in. And then Lindros.
The East has had 9 of the last 11 shots on goal. And if Ken Hitchcock's team doesn't pick it up, he's going to be 0-10 lifetime in various All-Star games. He's 0-9 to this point.
Yet he had teams in the Memorial Cup, was coach of the year in a couple of different leagues. It's just these All-Star things are a problem. On now comes Bondra. Bondra dropping it off for Leclerc. And it's Sundin on to Pavel Bure. Bure, score! From Bondra, 4-1.
And a little smile from Ken Hitchcock, the Dallas Stars head coach of the West team here. The last couple of shifts, Bure's been floating up ice a little bit. This time he took the pass in behind Brian Leach. Was able to move in, and every time he dekes, he fakes to the glove side, goes to the stick side, his left of the goaltender. You'll see the play, the pass right there from Sundin. He'll fake to the near side, go to the other side, and he beats Van Beesbrook wide as the West gets on the scoreboard. Great pass, great reception in behind Brian Leach. Fake to one side, to the other side, around Van Beesbrook with full speed. A year ago, Pavel Bure was injured with a very serious knee injury, almost a calendar year to now. He's finally getting his speed back and his concise movements, and there you can see it pays off. Finally a goal for the West.
Is that a long recovery time? It seems long.
It seems long, but it's what they call the ACL, a very important ligament to the knee. And you can come back and play 6 or 7 months later, but you don't get everything back for a full year, Mike. And it's just great to see Pavel Bure finally getting back that great skating speed game that he's known for.
You saw a ripper by Ozolinj get the glass. Puck behind to Kevin Hatcher, out to the front. He's able to get the long reach and recover. Steered back out to Dale Hunter now. Hunter tried for teammate Peter Bondra from Washington. And the puck taken by Sundin. Bondra gives up to John LeClaire. LeClaire faking and then playing for Hunter, but that one smartly cut off and brought out by Ozolinch. Nudges on for Burry. Pavel Burry cruising. Flipped one off to Correa in front to Sundin. Oh, and it's in! Over the line. The light is on. It's 4-2.
And it's still 1:24 to go in the first period. We may have 2 or 3 more. But they've been wonderful plays. This time it's just a jam play towards the net of Van Beesbroek, and the puck was jammed in underneath him. Correa was in on the play. Van Beesbroek closes off the near side. As you see, Sundin is in the goal crease, and they may be reviewing that one. I don't know. Sundin's there. The puck is there. If they both arrive at the same time, he can stay inside the goal crease. He cannot be there before the puck gets there. And the puck slides slowly underneath the goaltender, John Van Beesbroek, and we now have a 4-2 game as the West has gotten 2 quick goals back.
So Ken Hitchcock's changing of the lines and getting Burry in there. With Sundin and Tony Amonte seem to have done something positively for the West as they've gotten some offense back. Sundin from Burry and Ozolinch. So that line has accounted for 2 goals. Stevens' pass is deflected out of play at the Western Conference bench. 1:09 to go. First period. 15 shots, 11 East. They lead 4-2. Just back to action here. An icing called. We are using 3 different linesmen here today, but only 2 at a time. Let's check in with Joe Micheletti.
Okay, Mike, thanks very much. I'm with Eric Lindros, the star of the Philadelphia Flyers. Eric, first of all, you missed the first 23 games of the season. Your team was about 500 since you've come back. You've been unbelievable. Is it the difference just you?
No, it's far from just me. I think guys are back in their positions. A lot of confidence goes with that. People are playing terrific. All 4 lines are contributing. Our goaltending has been superb, but it's been a lot of fun.
A lot of people expected your team to at least contend for the Stanley Cup last year. You lost out against Florida. Are you better this year?
Our depth is the best it's been in a long, long time, and we look forward to another chance at it.
Best of luck to you. Thank you. Back to you, Mike.
Thanks, Joe. John?
Mike, November 27th, a 4-1 loss. Flyers at the Islanders. There was a players-only meeting for 25 minutes, and it was like group therapy. Everything that was bothering the team was out on the table. The Flyer players only in the locker room, and from that point, the Philadelphia Flyers really pulled for one another. They cared about each other on the ice. There was no more problems. Since then, they've added coffee. They happen to be, in my mind, just a great hockey club. Speed and size, a lot of talent, well coached. They will be dangerous when the playoffs come around.
They came into the All-Star break with only 1 loss in the last 20 games. But this one has been played for 20 minutes. 6 goals scored at the end of the first period, with the East ahead 4-2. We'll be back with James Brown and Dave Maloney after these words and a message from your local Fox station. Fox won't work either. Forget it. Nighttime, San Jose. We're bringing you a blimp's eye view of San Jose at night. The Fujifilm blimp with captains John McHugh and Eddie Wynn at the controls, and behind the camera lens, Jim Kimmins. Game summary is brought to you by Bud Ice. Well, the numbers get large in these All-Star games sometimes. The shots 15-12 the West. The scoring chances 12-9. Face-offs West 12-9, and no penalties so far. John, what do you think?
Well, we didn't expect penalties, Mike. I don't think at all when you get into an All-Star format like this, you're going to see the players take a chance at injuring one another. However, we did see some great passing, as was illustrated by Dave Maloney during the intermission. And the great players started to pick up the tempo, defensemen jumping into the play. And I think this is a chance where players love offense. Poor goaltenders.
Well, let's talk about the poor goaltenders who are coming in now. Martin Brodeur and Andy Moog.
Andy Moog plays goal for Dallas. He's a stand-up goaltender, has to play out at the top of his goal crease because he's not big. And that's his game, out at the top of the goal crease. He's a great veteran goaltender who's really trained differently during the offseason, and he's had a great year. Knees bothered him a little bit, but he feels strong, and he's really looking forward to the second half of the season. Marty Brodeur is a smart goaltender who plays big. He gets down on his knees sometimes, but he keeps his upper body straight up in the air with his chest facing the puck all the time. He's a good, smart goaltender who has carried the Devils over the last few years. You call him an Iron Man because of the amount of minutes that he gets. Patrick Waugh, I think he can now just sit back and relax, maybe even think about his other love, which is golf. Freddie Couples is one of his best buddies. Be able to chide him a little bit about the way things went tonight.
Let's take a look at the goal scoring. John LeClaire, Mario Lemieux, Mark Recchi, and Dale Howarchuk. The Western goal scorers when it was 4-0, Pavel Bure on the breakaway, and then Paul Correa was credited out of that net mouth scramble with the second West goal. We are underway here in the second period, and Keith Tkachuk tried to bring it ahead. Dino Cicerelli took it away and worked it back out, but on with it now is Kristich to play back to Slava Fetisov. Slava Fetisov, a commissioner's selection, and what a good choice he is. Puck brushed away by Raymond Bourque. Slava Fetisov at the tender age of 38 years of age. One of the greatest players. As a matter of fact, if you talk about Wayne Gretzky and Mario Lemieux and their importance to hockey here, the most significant player in Russian history is that guy wearing purple number 22 right now and working the puck on the board, Slava Fetisov.
I asked him if he would like to be a part of the Olympic team for Russia during the next Winter Olympics in Japan, and he said, yeah. I said, what as? A coach, a general manager, a player? He said, well, we got to figure out all our complaints, get the complaints out first, then we got to start thinking about our team. I really think he wants to play, though, Mike. I think he wants still to be the player to help lead his team to a good run in the Olympics.
Well, how does this sound? 98, he plays in Nagano, and 02, he's general manager with Igor Larionov as the coach in Salt Lake City. What do you think?
In Russia, the politics are heavy right now, Mike. I'm not sure where he'll end up, but there's a good chance of that happening. Alexei Kovalov, a Ranger forward, recently had an injured knee. He's got to have surgery on it. It was reported in the Russian newspaper that he fractured his arm. So you never know what happens over there.
Alfredson tried to drop it along. Ozelinch took it away, and then to Theo Fleury. The East got the first 4. The West has answered halfway. Mark Messier with the steal. Dealt it across to Recchi. Recchi then for Robert Svela. Andy Moog at the end of the right. Martin Brodeur at the end of the left. Messier nearly fought his way through everyone and gets the puck to Svela. Svela fed one in front that was kicked out a second effort. Goes past Andy Moog. Mark Recchi has his second goal of the game. And it's 5-2 in favor of the East.
And it's an early goal on Andy Moog, who didn't have much of a chance on the play at all for the goaltender's point of view. You really don't, in a format like this, have much of a chance at all, period, on any of these nice plays that you're seeing. Again, some nice pass work after a turnover at the blue line, and we say that a lot in the game of ice hockey. Blue line turnovers create problems. Messier's on the puck, and you see Recchi standing in front to get his own rebound. And in this format, you don't see a lot of people get hit. So you're allowed to stand around the top of the goal crease and find your own rebounds. Recchi, I believe, got there first to score the goal. That should be his second of the game from Svela and Messier. Svela, by the way, was +3, on for 3 goals more than he was for his team the goals against during the first period.
Look at this. This continues now between Van Beesbroek and Waugh. Yeah, I don't know if they'd get much golf played if they went out together. They'd talk all the time.
Well, Van Beesbroek got over to a place called Spyglass yesterday, or make that the day before yesterday. Mike threw an 80 at the golf course, which isn't bad for the middle of the hockey season.
Not at all. Hatcher flung one in front. That's Darian Hatcher. It's fed out to Hall, and a shot nubbed wide. Daniel Alfredson turns with that. Last night in the skills competition, Van Beesbroek and Waugh had quite a duel. Alfredson did not miss by much on that shot. Fed over to Recchi. Hurried one in front, but that chipped away. And back comes Brett Hull. Hull moving ahead on Paul Coffey. Drops to Yzerman. Yzerman fed it over to Shanahan, and he couldn't get the shot away. Yzerman again with it. A bouncer came to Recchi. In the rapid-fire shooting, John Van Beesbroek stopped all 10 shots. Patrick Waugh stopped 9. And they had a good sparring session in the postgame. It is Prairie moving in, centering, and Robert Svela was there. With Patrick Waugh watching from the bench. This is Lindros on a breakaway. Oh, and every move in the book, and a poke check by Andy Moog on Lindros. And now it's Sanderson. He scores! Jeff Sanderson, out of Hay River, the Northwest Territory, has made it 6-2 in favor of the East.
Jeff Sanderson spends his offseason in Whitefish, Montana, a beautiful part of the world. During the regular season, he plays for the Hartford Whalers. His second-year pro, he was nearly traded to the Edmonton Oilers for Dave Manson. Brian Burke was running the Hartford Whalers. He said, listen, we need toughness. Glenn Sather called, and we're talking turkey here. We might try and make a deal. Hartford and Edmonton. Brian Burke then called the Toronto general manager, Cliff Fletcher. Cliff said, you're going to trade Sanderson? You're kidding. He said, Brian, go outside, take a long walk, have a cold drink, and don't trade him. He's going to be a 40-goal scorer. And sure enough, he's more than a 40-goal scorer. You saw the move he made to beat Andy Moog. He's in the All-Star game for the first time. And the Hartford Whalers, sometimes the best trades you make are the ones you don't make. And he's a star player for the Whalers.
We mentioned where he was born. I asked him yesterday, what would the temperature be there right now? This is 800 miles north of Edmonton, Alberta. He said a -40. That's not chill factor. Combination pass for the West, nearly connected, but now it's jabbed back on by Jason Arnott. Martin Brodeur, who has not given up one in the All-Star game. Last year, he shut out the West in 20 minutes. Fetisov with a pass that's tipped ahead now for Teemu Selanne. Selanne fed it on back, and it ricocheted away from Chelios. He recovers back over to Slava Fetisov. 4 minutes played here in the second period. Recchi and Sanderson, the second period goal, 6-2 in favor of the East.
And you watch Eric Lindros play here, Mike. He's playing at a high level. He's not hitting people, but his skating and his passing and everything is at a very, very high level. He seems to be more intense than a lot of players.
Well, this does wind up being a showpiece for players who want to make a statement. Mario Lemieux has done it 3 times when he was named the most valuable player, including a 4-goal outburst once right in Pittsburgh. Here is Selanne there. Selanne centers, and at the side of the net, Sundin cannot score, but Murray can. 6-3, East.
You start thinking nearly 5 minutes into the second period, who's going to be the MVP? For Bourre, it's 3 points now. And he stood there and found the rebound. Again, when you're not being bumped around near the goal net, you can find rebounds. Sundin took the original shot. He looks like a giant standing there. The save was made by Brodeur, but on the other side was Pavel Bourre, darting in, taking his time, and made sure he finished it. He really took the puck and jammed it hard into the goal net, not taking a chance of missing. Watch the puck when it goes to Bourre. There's the rebound. Here comes Bourre. Zing hard into the high end of the net to make sure the play was finished. And a quick goal as Bourre gets his 3rd point of the game.
We had mentioned that Lemieux has been an MVP 3 times, Gretzky twice. Only one defenseman has ever been an MVP of an All-Star game. Bobby Orr. And it's pretty, I guess maybe it's pretentious of us to say he'll be the only one ever, but there might be some pretty offensive output from a defenseman some night in one of these games. Here is a chance for Murray going for the hat trick, and he couldn't get it.
And then there's those of us, Mike, who think maybe, I hope no other defenseman ever gets it. Yeah, that's how good Bobby Orr was.
Exactly. Bondra's pass is spiked away, and Sundin advances it off of Tkachuk. Bork able to play for the East. Crisp pass ahead now for Dale Howardchuk. Worked ahead for an attempt by Adam Oates, but that knocked loose. And it's Burry circling. I think he senses that he's got the chance to really do something for himself, but it won't be on that play. Ozolinch. Burry with Sundin. Well, this is a good combination. Burry fought off and back to neutralized by Paul Coffey skating and checking. Darian Hatcher's pass was away from Amonte. Waiting is Fleury in front, and it went off of the blade of Burry's stick. Cicerelli connects with Spela. Ahead now for Lemieux. Score! Mario Lemieux, 7-3. His second of the game.
Mario Lemieux is so dangerous without the puck because he knows how to get open at high speed. Ken Hitchcock looks up, down by 4 again. Mario Lemieux is on the far side of the ice. And you'll see Spela with a brilliant pass across. Now watch Lemieux open the legs of the goaltender as he moves across, and then he casually deposits the check into the bank. Open the legs, put it in, there it is. And baby, we've seen that over the years. Mario Lemieux, when he moves in, he's so casual. He knows and he looks and he sees. He makes a move to open the legs, and Andy Moog had just no chance. As Lemieux, he'll either do this, where he puts the puck through the legs, or he'll go high to the catching glove side. And for a goaltender, it's tough. It's a tough guess with the long reach that Lemieux has. And another brilliant pass by Svela, who's quietly played a very sharp game. Number 24, he's got the puck now.
Svela and Cicerelli come up with the assist at 6:09 on Lemieux's goal. Gretzky was breaking, but the pass came to Amonte. Tried to hurry it up the wing, but Lemieux was back checking. Off of Svela. Reached by Gretzky. Captain of the East could not play it further. Svela trying to follow up. And then Hatcher. Darian Hatcher back with it, but the pass ricocheted across right over for Coffey. Lemieux helped it ahead to Wayne Gretzky. He has Cicerelli breaking, did the twirl, and angled for Cicerelli. Then Lemieux. Cicerelli and Gretzky with Lemieux in front. That's his office. Can't get it to the front, and then Lemieux dug it out. But it rolled right in front where Moog grabbed it.
Yeah, you almost think Gretzky can't get the puck to the front, but he finds a way to get it done. Lemieux was there, and Andy Moog had to be sharp to keep the puck away from the goal line.
Ever wonder what it's like raising 2 future All-Stars?
They are nice boys, and that's the thing. They still are nice boys.
We had to replace a lot of doors and a lot of repaint the walls and the puck marks and all that stuff.
Well, the good thing is right now is we're both selected to the All-Star team.
I don't think there's anything my husband or I would change about it. He's great.
Kevin and Darian. And to prove they're nice boys, they wanted to pass along a message to a relative of theirs, Stephen, at Children's Hospital back in Detroit. Get well soon. We're thinking of you, though we're out here in San Jose.
Good stuff. Isn't it amazing how they didn't play well on the same team with Dallas? They've been separated. Darian's a great defenseman in Dallas. Kevin has really lit it up in Pittsburgh playing. I asked him, I said, what's it like playing in Pittsburgh with Lemieux and all the guys? He says, I never had so much room in my whole career. I said, why? Because there's a guy by the name of Kasperitis who's my defense partner, and everybody in the league likes to go after him and chase him around. So I have all this open ice to waltz around and do my thing. And it's been a great fit. Kasperitis and Kevin Hatcher, the defense pairing all the time for Lemieux, Yager, and Francis when they're on the ice in Pittsburgh. And Pittsburgh's had a great run.
Granato dealt it back in. Keith Tkachuk tried to center, but that blocked off by Leach. Out in front, it skipped past Tkachuk. Chopped along further by Granato. 7-3 in favor of the East. 8 minutes played in the period. Fetisov a shot that went off Alfredsson's stick and got the boards. Tkachuk helps it back to Fetisov. Dmitry Kristich fed one in front. Waiting is Chelios, and it went off the pipe. So the second of the post shots in the game. Tkachuk on a fancy pass back from Granato, but it's taken away by Dale Hunter. Playing it tough is Mark Messier. Hunter flips. And out of harm's way, the East can carry it. They've got a 2-on-1. Messier moving in with Alfredsson. Messier back to Hatcher. Tried for Messier. Now has it again. Side of the net. Score! Messier!
Well, an embarrassing moment here. Slava Fetisov on the back check. The defenseman fell down. And when he fell down, there was three, count them, 3 Eastern players standing around Andy Moog's goal. A quick shot off the pass, and all of a sudden, there was another goal for the East, their 8th. Now you watch Fetisov there coming back. He moves across. He's down. He's gone. As is the other defender. Quick pass across, and Andy Moog, oh, he must have felt like Custer standing there. Man, he was surrounded. No chance. There you see Fetisov. He's gone. He's out of the play. Alfredsson's there. Hunter's there. Messier makes the pass, or accepts the pass, pardon me, as you see him take the pass right there. The goal scored. And it's goal number 8 on Andy Moog. Messier gets his 4th goal. Usually he's a passer. That time he was the receiver.
Nice birthday party he's throwing today, isn't it? He turned 36. Wayne Gretzky will hit 36 a week from tomorrow.
And I should apologize. That was Kevin Hatcher on the pass to Mark Messier. We'll get it right.
Kevin Hatcher has changed conferences since last year. Since last summer. You were telling me he and his brother were together when they found out that a trade had been made?
Yeah, they were boating up at home, and Darian went inside. He found out that there was a trade. He went out and told Kevin, he said, by the way, you're no longer on our team. You've been moved to Pittsburgh. we better go off the boat and go take care of business. He said, no, let's go out boating and do a little fishing and relax and think about this.
Puck played along now for Lindros. Hands on for Sanderson. Howard Chuck to Lindros. Howard Chuck to Lindros. Got his way through and nearly stifled it through. But Andy Moog was able to sit and shut it off. Nearing the halfway point of the tilt, 8-3 the East.
And welcome back to San Jose. Joe Micheletti down between the benches and in a game that sees the East ahead 8-3. And John Van Beesbroek, who played the first period. I know you and Patrick Waugh have been talking here a little bit. You happy to be out of this game? It's got to be tough for you goaltenders.
Absolutely. I'm glad we had to play the first period, but you know, it's fun to play, but it's better to watch.
Yeah, and Patrick, of course, you played that first period. You didn't get much help either, did you?
Well, you can't complain about that. You don't expect to see a lot of defensive play there, and you expect a lot of offense, and I think that's what the people wants to see, a lot of goals, and probably get away that frustration of the season where lack of goals are being scored in the NHL. Then, but you know, as a goaltender, you try to enjoy yourself, and like Johnny said, it's true. I mean, it's better to be on the bench.
And now you've got this youngster that hasn't played as much as you two, and Guy Hebert. What kind of advice are you giving him for this third period that he'll play?
I told him to call Chris Osgood and coming for a third period.
Thanks, guys. I appreciate it. Good luck the rest of the year.
Thanks. Korea shot, and it went off Paul Coffey. Chris Osgood dearly wanted to be here, but an injury prevented it just this past week. That one guided wide by Recchi. Played back across, and Leclerc, and he got the crossbar. Recchi again deals it over to Svela, creeping in with Leclerc at the front of the goal. Dealt along by Adam Oates, and Recchi is there. Arnott on him, fed back to the point, and Coffey's shot flipped off of Leclerc and went wide. Korea able to skim it off the boards and back down. There'll be no icing. Bob Hodges working the lines this period along with Ron Asseltine as a 2-on-1 develops, and it's Oates into Recchi. Score! Mark Recchi! It's the hat trick for Recchi, and it's 9-3 in favor of the East.
As soon as you saw Adam Oates get the puck, you knew, as unselfish as he has been throughout his career, the Boston Bruin forward would make the right pass, and he put it so perfect on the tape of the blade of Mark Recchi. Recchi just had to finish the shot quickly. There you see Oates look. He's got to pass the puck behind Recchi, which he does. Recchi's blade was trailing his own body. He's a left-handed shot. And look where the pass is. Bullseye perfect, and all Recchi had to do was finish. In one motion, Andy Moog, no chance. It's a great pass. Look at the pass. He freezes the defenseman, freezes the goaltender. Adam Oates with a brilliant pass. Recchi with a quick finish. He's got 3 tonight.
It's often said of veteran players that the second half of their season is their best. Mark Recchi finished the first half, if you count this, it's not exactly half, but right at the All-Star break. 4 goals in 4 games for the Montreal Canadiens. And in a different kind of game here today, he has a hat trick. The shooting eye never seems to be lost with that guy, though.
No, you're right. He's been playing the wing. He's been playing center ice. Montreal's had injuries, especially to a key player in Saku Koivu. And Recchi just hasn't missed a beat, Mike. He just keeps getting it done. He does everything at high speed.
Off of Gretzky to Moog. And then Chelios. Nudge back over for Dino Ciccarelli. Chipped it ahead for Lemieux, then he fed to Gretzky. Gretzky with that little pivot. Fed one off of Burry, but then it's Sundin. Chris Chelios ahead. Captain of the West hands on to Sundin with a man breaking, and it was too tough for Burry. Mario Lemieux takes it away from them, guides it to Dino Ciccarelli. Ciccarelli's pass went off Wayne Gretzky. Ciccarelli floats it ahead to Lemieux. Watched by Ozelinch, and the shot went off Ozelinch's shot, or rather his stick, and knocked it right out of his hands. And here's Gretzky, wide with the shot from the pass by Lemieux. Ciccarelli off of Bork to Dino Ciccarelli. To Gretzky. Lemieux was waiting, and Moog blocked off the pass. So steered back on for Pavel Burry, looking for the hat trick himself. Bork nudged one, Hall in front of the net, turns and that one fed away by Bork, but into traffic. Keith Tkachuk with it. Out to Hall, side of the net. Oh, and Murray, and then he rolls one off the post. On the rebound. Now he's got another try. Oh, and saved by Brodeur.
Pavel just tapped Brodeur's pads with his stick as he skated by, saying, nice going. That was really spectacular.
Flipped in front for the shot that is stopped by Moog from Peter Bondra. Oh,
how many chances did Bourret get? 3 or was it 4?
Really good ones.
Goal posts, catching gloves, everything. Bourret stays out of the goal crease. There he hits the pads. There he hits the goal post. He'll get another chance, and watch the catching glove. Oh, baby, what a save that was by Brodeur. And then Pavel said, hey, that's something, man.
On the left, Rupert Murdoch, Chairman and CEO of the News Corporation. Gary Bettman, NHL Commissioner, on the right. Gary Bettman's talking news. Rupert is talking hockey.
And how many countries watching this one tonight?
162.
And a lot aren't noted as hockey countries, are they?
Iran, Zimbabwe. Of course, a lot of English-speaking countries are getting the telecast, and there are announcers here as well, representing Denmark and Finland and Norway and Russia and Sweden. But the business talk is going on here with the East ahead 9-3.
11 different groups of people representing 9 cities wanted to, well, did meet with the league regarding expansion. My gut feeling is you'll see a couple teams get accepted in a couple of years, Mike, and then maybe 2 more at the turn of the century.
Alfredson a shot, and that one ricocheted off of Moog.
Somewhere around $85 million to jump in.
Boy, has it ever become valuable. Do you go along with the people who are forecasting Atlanta and Houston?
Well, Atlanta doesn't have a building that'll be ready for 3 or 4 years, so that may slow them getting into the league. But it certainly does make some sense. Some other very good applicants, too.
Here is Messier. Fires, and a scorcher is wide. That's what Andy Moog has heard about All-Star games. That shot right there. Big 45-footer from the circle, as hard as it can be sent. Chance for Messier, but a ricocheted by him. Darian Hatcher guided it around. Oleg Tverdovsky there. Kristich started it ahead for Tony Granato. Granato back to Kristich with Tkachuk breaking, and a save made by Brodeur on him.
Yeah, that's a great pass, great shot, anticipation by Brodeur. A fine save.
Svela to Bondra. Well, he's had the touch so far. He has given up but 1 in the last 2 years and 1 in a fraction periods. Here's Alfredson circling. Alfredson floated it over to Svela. Chased down by Ozolinch. Yeah, you mentioned 3 applicants for Houston, but 9 different cities were represented in the last week of talks in New York as they made their presentations.
Tell me, Nashville was very good, too. It's spreading. There's more professional teams in the state of Texas than there is in any other state in the United States. And it is growing, the inline program.
Well, when you consider all the minor league teams across the country, you have 40 states, actually more than 40 if you count those that have major college teams in them. Puck angled ahead and right in on Brodeur, who slugged it away from the on-rushing Owen Nolan. Up to the back now. McInnes a shot, and that deflected away. Fed out in front, but Amonte couldn't get much wood on that. And it's played by Sanderson. Dumped along for Svela. And Amonte in front, and Nolan couldn't control. Diving play made by Brodeur. Chopped at by Nolan, and a penalty coming up. It'll be on the east.
And there's a lot of fans loving this. We'll see a power play. It looks like Rob Schick comes up with a hooking call on Paul Coffey as the West really went to the net. They tried to make it happen. We'll have a power play when we get back.
A lot of talk is made about sports stars and whether they should be heroes to kids. What about parents? Teachers? Well, in Finland, one lucky kindergarten class used to have a sports star as a teacher.
I was thinking about what I like to do, and I went to kindergarten, and I was 4 hours a day teaching those kids and playing with those kids, so it was a great time.
Yeah, and he's got his rooters here, doesn't he? Well, we have a penalty in an All-Star game. First time it's on a guy since 1993. There's too many men on the ice twice last year. Power play. Boy, a lot of touch on this with Yzerman, Shanahan, Chelios, Ozolinch. And inside the box is Hull. The East had too few men, and here's Lindros moving in, and a save made by Moog. As Lindros came from the bench.
Yeah, I think they had made a change on the fly, Mike, and nobody noticed Lindros, and another good pass. And Andy Moog stops Eric, the big drain on the breakaway.
Hull tried to work one, but it failed. Leach connected back ahead to Dale Hunter.
That's what Dale Hunter does. One of the best things he does is kill penalties. And he wins faceoffs, and he's in his wrong now. If he's not taking penalties, he kills penalties. But Dale Hunter did a nice job. I think Lindros had gone to the bench for a broken stick. He had broken his stick. He went for a new one.
Puck played by Hull on a cross now to Shanahan. Shanahan is out of score!
It's a power play goal. Yzerman, whom Shanahan is talking to right now, they play on the same line for the Detroit Red Wings. Shanahan went to the net with the puck. Yzerman was standing there without the puck, and Brodeur may have thought pass. And when he thought pass, everything opened up. His arm, his catching glove went away from his body. His legs were open, and Shanahan found the hole. Here's Brett Hull gaining the zone, making the pass. To the left side is Yzerman, and there's the shot beating Brodeur. And the West gets themselves a power play goal. We could say they needed one as they were trailing big time. Men in front, Shanahan with the shot. Scotty Bowman was saying the other day, their coach, Shanahan's one of the few players in the league who can still beat the goaltenders of today from even outside the top of the circle. That one was well inside the circle. He's got a great snapshot, you call that. It went through Brodeur as he, I believe, was thinking pass. Shanahan is a shooter. He's a sniper. And there he gets one for the West.
Hull and Ozolinch come up with the assists on the power play goal at 16:38 of this second period. They tried for Oates, but got McInnes. Moving in is Sean Leclerc. Tverdovsky on him. Blocked by Howardchuk. Oates tried to play, but instead, it is Al McInnes. Now, Brendan Shanahan plays a pretty physical game. Big guy. I took a look at the shoulder pads that he wears down in the locker room today. They're so old and thin, they've got holes in them.
That's a player not wanting to change equipment. Some of them wear them for years and years and years.
Here's Leclerc to Howardchuk, and his shot, he scores! Dale Howardchuk. And it's the truck driver score.
10-4, big boy. 10-4, front door. That one was a shot, a great wrist shot by Dale Howardchuk, who's really had a remarkable year. He was injured. He had a abdominal muscle pull, a groin injury, you could call it. He was worried about coming back. He met someone down in Florida who was involved with the polo business, and he set Dale Howardchuk onto a program. Within 2 weeks, Dale was back and healthy and playing and pain-free. And he's had a remarkable year. What a pass that was by Leclerc. Back behind his back to Howardchuk. Moog, I believe, was thinking pass on that play, too. Maybe a give and go back to Leclerc. Instead, there was a shot by the man they call Hawk. Howardchuk put it up top, and it's a 10-4 score in favor of the East.
Leclerc and Stevens get the assists at 17:28. One of the other things I spotted, and you made the point when we were talking about Shanahan's equipment, Chris Chelios is wearing the shoulder pads that he had at the University of Wisconsin. And in very weak ink, because they've been laundered a few times and they've been scrubbed up, it says 1975-10. That was the 10th set of shoulder pads that he had, and he's kept that 10th set of shoulder pads all this time. Side of the net, an attempt by Burry went wide. To the corner, Svela trying to play. 10-4 in the last 2 minutes of the second period of this All-Star game. Gretzky a pass on to Mario Lemieux. But it's Darian Hatcher dealing it off for a one-time attempt by Burry that failed, and then it's sent wide. A trickler from Shanahan. Pavel Burry, a Ken Hitchcock continues to break up his lines, looking for scoring, which Bury has given them on a couple of occasions. But it's Fela back to handle. 106 straight sellouts here. Side of the net shot, and getting back splendidly on defense at just the right time was Scott LaChance to break that up. It is Ozolinsh. Shot, and Brodeur stopped that and covers. 1:16 left. 17,442 watching. Just as we come back, the West has scored to make it 10-5. Out of the net mouse scramble, it was Owen Nolan getting one for the West and for the San Jose Sharks fans.
You know, it's a 10-goal East, 5-goal West score now. But Owen Nolan's a San Jose Shark, and these fans who support this team in this area remarkably well are just flat out excited that he was able to get the goal. Here you see the shot from the blue line. There was a big save by Brodeur. You see the puck hitting the top of the glass. And then Theo Fleury set up Owen Nolan in front. Theo Fleury plays for the Calgary Flames. He comes in here with the Flames and plays his heart out game after game, and he's not liked in this building. There's a sign up that says, "We love Fleo only one time." And they love him there for setting up that guy, Owen Nolan. And look at the smile on his face, Mike. Born in Northern Ireland, he's got a lot of family here from Canada who are Irish, and they've had a blast. They have visited a lot of establishments here and had a great time.
He's in again. Score! Well, they'll be visiting a few again tonight.
Oh, baby. Look at the smile. You got to love it. This place is jumping. What a shot. I mean, that was a rocket. A slap shot up high inside the goalpost underneath the crossbar. And these folks, with under a minute to go in the second period, the West gets another goal. Owen Nolan, bang, bang, gets two. And they just love it here. They're still dancing, still standing, applauded, singing. Look at this shot, top of the circle. Oh, baby, right over the shoulder of Martin Brodeur beaten up high. He leans into it, top corner over the glove hand that was down low. And the puck is in. He gets his third, his second tonight.
So at 18:54 and at 19:02, just 8 seconds between goals. And here's Alfredson. Save made by Moog. Guided ahead to Nolan, who himself is looking for the half. Nolan ahead in the last 40 of the period. Sandis Ozolinsh twisting and turning. Now controlling. Fed one in front, and Fleury was stoned by Brodeur. Ozolinsh ahead. Around for Nolan again, walled by Leach. But not too ferociously.
Ozolinsh is jumping in. Messier's tying him up, stopping him from getting in. Here he comes again. Will he get the pass?
He got a shot away, but shanked it, and then the puck brought back and handed on to Ozolinsh again.
Yeah, Ozolinsh and Nolan were traded for one another. Colorado, San Jose. And here they are on an All-Star game making plays, just having a blast.
Well, that's it on the second. He's the toast of the second period and the toast of the town along with his Sharks teammates. Owen Nolan with a pair. His team with 6. The other guys with 10. We'll be back to the San Jose Arena after these messages. You're watching the NHL All-Star Game from San Jose on Fox.
Fox Sports coverage of the NHL.
The 47th NHL All-Star Game, 10-6 in favor of the East here in San Jose, bringing you a blimp's eye view of the city tonight. The Fujifilm blimp with captains John McHugh and Eddie Wynn at the controls. Behind the camera lens, Jim Kimmins. Take a look at our statistics brought to you by Bud Ice. Pretty impressive in total goals scored, 55 shots overall, 30 by the East. The scoring chances 24-21. Just that one penalty, and not surprisingly, it resulted in a power play goal.
You know, you think about it, 16 goals, Mike, on 55 shots. That's about a 25% shooting percentage. It's the quality of shots by the quality shooters, and the goaltenders don't have a chance. I think it'll be interesting to see if Owen Nolan can get the third goal, a hat trick. That'll light up this joint. That'll be just a great way to end this All-Star festivity that we've had here in San Jose, where we've been treated very well. And this is it's a hockey area now. It's happening here in the Bay Area.
Yeah, and it's hard to say that a 10-6 game is close, but it is.
Exactly.
It can change
real quick.
These are the guys who scored in the second period, but this is the total overall on the night. Recchi of Montreal, 3 goals. Mario Lemieux so far has 2. Howardchuk has 2. Sanderson with 1, Messier with 1, and Leclerc with 1 as well. Now that's the East. Burry and Nolan with 2 goals apiece for the West. Correa with a goal, and Shanahan with 1 as well. We have a new period. We have new goaltenders. As you see, Mark Recchi, the owner of a hat trick. Dominic Hasek from Buffalo will be the goalie at the end of the right, and that man, Guy Hebert. Now you see Hasek. The man in the dark that you saw for a moment was Guy Hebert. So those are the 2 who will help decide the outcome here in the third, John.
Guy Hebert is the goaltender that plays fairly deep. He's good laterally, left to right, right to left. This type of a game, you see a lot of east-west passing. In other words, laterally, he's going to have to move. And Dominic Hasek, the goaltender in Buffalo, an incredible goaltender, maybe the quickest legs of any goaltender in the world. He's a great athlete. He's a very intense competitor. It'd be fun to watch him play.
Gretzky with Lemieux breaking. It is Ciccarelli. Ciccarelli floated it across, and look at the open ice for Amati to feed to Nolan. Looking for the hat. Save made by Hasek. Fed to the front for Fleury, but cut off by Ciccarelli. Well, you almost got your wish, John.
And you can feel it in the building. The people started to stand up as they realized who it was on the breakaway. Hasek may be the quickest feet of any goaltender in the world, and he used his right leg to make the save.
This is Ozolinch over to Fleury. They try to jam it home, and hanging on is Hasek.
Oh, Fleury and Stevens. I think Scotty Stevens had a little smile on his face as he was pushing Calgary's Theo Fleury away, who took a swat at Stevens as he backed up, and then Fleury had a little smile. What a pass it was for Owen Nolan to think breakaway. Here it comes. He's gone. Tony Amonte on the pass. Watch the right leg of the goaltender. He just closed it right up, did Dominic Hasek. Fleury took a swat at Kevin Stevens. And with a tooth missing, Theo had a smile on his face. You jab away at the puck with a goaltender, even in an All-Star game. Scott Stevens doesn't much like it.
It is Hatcher with a shot, and that one went wide. Fed back to the point. Big drive, and that went off Stevens. Rebound trickled in on Hasek and then wide off of him. So 10-6 and a minute into the third period of this All-Star game from San Jose. Tony Granato got it to the back. Hustled along by Fetisov. Kristich centered. Granato had it spiked away by Stevens. And the East starts back out. Messier's pass is cut off by Fetisov. Kachuk could not get into the zone, and it is taken by Daniel Alfredson. To show what an idle mind will do. Well, moving in here is Messier. Messier fed for Alfredson, and a save made. Boy, good strong start for Guy Hebert. Meanwhile, it's Messier playing an offside pass. Let's check in with Joe Micheletti.
Thank you, Mike. We're with Brendan Shanahan. Brendan trailing by 4 goals after 2 periods. What was the theme in the locker room?
Don't panic, you know. We kind of sensed that they were starting to panic a little bit. Guys like Lemieux, Gretzky, Messier, I think they felt this coming on, and we just felt that they were going to start panicking, and we were going to win.
On the serious side, it was tough for you. It was tough for you early in the season when you were with Hartford. You made the trade, or you got traded to Detroit. How are things working out there for you?
Great city, great team.
Good to be with you, Brendan. Thank you. Back upstairs to you, Mike.
Well, you know, he's right. You can just sense the panic setting in. Guy Hebert stopped.
Hebert 2 for 2. You know, Brendan Shanahan in Detroit, you know, Mike, they play the left wing lock. The left winger's always back. The other 2 forward, center, right winger in deep. Scotty's saying he's got to change a little bit. For Shanahan, when he's on the ice, they're going to play the right wing back, the right wing lock. So the right winger is going to be back to allow Brendan to get deeper and maybe get even more offense in the second half of the season for the Red Wings, who may try to make a few deals, get a little bigger up front. And
soon?
I think so. Of course, you look at Colorado. Mark Crawford, the assistant coach with Ken Hitchcock here in this game for the West. Their team's the best, man. Colorado. And they should have Peter Forsberg back by the end of next week.
Amati to Sundin to Amati. Oh, and a save by Hasek on a 3-on-1. It's sent along now for Jeff Sanderson. Laid it on for Lindros to connect with Howardchuk. Across to Sanderson again. Lindros lobbed it behind, and so this one can be handled and thrown back along by Al McInnes. Sundin brings it on. Met there by Leach. And then Howardchuk. Sanderson bringing it on with Lindros. Offside. NFL season is almost over, but the year's biggest honor remains to be awarded. Join host John Madden as he reveals the Little Caesars 14th annual All-Madden team tomorrow at 5 Eastern and Pacific, right here on Fox.
Now there's a football player here that plays for San Francisco, and he ran into Eric Lindros the other day in a restaurant. Bryant Young, he's a lineman for the 49ers, and he saw Eric Lindros, says, "Man, you're one big guy for a hockey player. You ever think about maybe stopping by San Francisco and playing for our 49ers?"
Marvelous play at the front of the net by Hasek. The post was involved, the glove as well. And the East thought they'd closed it to 3, but they haven't, and he's got a smile on his face to prove what art he had just now.
One of the hardest working goaltenders from the Czech Republic, Dominik Hasek, playing for the Buffalo Sabres, gives the Sabres a chance to win every night that he's in goal. And here he just makes another couple of saves. He uses his legs. He uses his catching glove. Mike, his work habits are impeccable. Remember the New Jersey Buffalo game in the playoffs that went into how many overtimes?
4.
The next morning. So what time do you think that finished up at night?
Oh, it was pushing 1 o'clock after a 7:30 start.
On the ice the next morning, 10 a.m., he was out there practicing after playing a quadruple overtime game in the playoffs. Hasek was on the ice at 10 a.m. working and practicing his craft. That's why he's here. That's why he is.
70 shots he faced that night, and 70 he got. Martin Brodeur faced 50. Dave Hannon got the one late. John LeClaire ahead. Fed one in front that Ozolinsh got. How do you classify Hasek in style? I mean, some guys are stand-up, some butterfly. What's he?
He's whatever he can get in front of the puck. He plays percentages, but it's his athletic ability, his quick feet, his quick legs. Now here's some quick legs.
Peter Bondra with the steal and the carry. Bondra with a backhander, and that one deflected back out by Hebert. Right from the bench to play it ahead. Brendan Shanahan took the pass from Arnott, but we get a stoppage of play on an offside. Yep, when you retire, like George Seifert, you come to the All-Star Game. Good for him. He's having a good time, too. Sandis Ozolinsh didn't begin his rise to NHL stardom with sticks, pucks, and pads. Nope. Mom started Sandis on figure skates. It didn't take him long to convince her that he had other ice interests.
I didn't really like it, so I put her in the net and tried to shoot some pucks at her. So she got tired of it and decided to put me on hockey skates and give me a stick.
What did I get for that? 6? At least 6?
Yeah, we'll give him a 6 at least on that one.
You know, he learned his offensive abilities are phenomenal. He learned a lot about playing defense in this league from Joel Quenneville, who was the assistant coach in Colorado. Joe's now the head coach in St. Louis for the Blues, and we wish him a lot of luck.
Here's Gretzky with a pass that came back to him. Sent it on along, but wrapped up with Ciccarelli. There are a lot of hockey moms that taught some of these players some of the finer points of the game when Dad was at work, especially in the Canadian reaches out west.
I can think of the Niedermeyer brothers.
Exactly.
Rob playing down for the Panthers and Scotty playing for the New Jersey Devils. Their mother in Cranbrook, British Columbia, Mike. And spent a lot of time teaching them to skate.
Neither one of those guys ever said they put their mom in net, though, like Ozolinsh did.
Whoa.
Oh, it's cruel over there.
Yes, it is.
Scott Stevens a pass back over now for Bork to hand to Gretzky. To Lemieux. Dropped it off, and Mario Lemieux got it back again to play to Gretzky off the outside of the goal. 5 minutes played here in the third period. 10-6 in favor of the East. Gretzky carried off, and it started back out by Arnott. Then over to Solani. But Scott Stevens, you were mentioning football. He was a middle linebacker in high school, Stevens. His father was a semi-pro football player. You know what semi-pro means? That means mean football. Thrown to the front off Stevens. I mean, sometimes you get referees for your games, and sometimes you just play them.
Scotty's got a lot of that meanness from his dad, I think. And here's Theo Fleury threw a body check into Scotty Stevens.
And Fleury beat him. Save made by Hasek. Thrown to the front, and another shot, and Hasek got that one too from Tverdovsky.
Brilliant, brilliant feat. That second save with the left leg of Hasek is just classic goaltending. That's him right there. He's that good. Stops Fleury on a breakaway and then kicks out a puck through a screen.
Fleury's pass taken by Nolan. And then Leach. I think Ken Hitchcock doesn't have a flair for the dramatic. He has the last change, so he saw Stevens. He answered with Fleury. See what happens here. Offside.
Fleury had the breakaway after he was able to catch Scotty Stevens, maybe trying to throw a body check back at him. Here's Tony Amonte on the puck. Watch this. Ooh, little move. Now Hasek set. There's the catching glove. One little move. Hasek just followed the shooter's stick. Watch Hasek just stand there and wait. Brilliant move there by Fleury. And Hasek go wait and then just one move. Quick glove save. And then he followed that up with a beautiful save through traffic with his left foot.
Grew up just an hour east of Prague in what was then called Czechoslovakia. Second All-Star game for him. The saving grace of the Buffalo Sabres. He's made 21 of their last 23 starts and has won 12 and tied 3 out of that 21. They have become a resurgent team in the league because of him. They have been without their star forward, Pat LaFontaine. Here's Mark Recchi looking for 4. Recchi with a pass for Messier, and that one blocked off by Ozolinsh. So Dmitry Kristich. Chelios back to Kristich again. Peels off and dropped for Tkachuk. To the slot, Ozolinsh. Save Hasek, and he'll wait.
Yeah, Tkachuk's pass was almost too firm for Ozolinsh to handle. He got the shot, and Hasek's there. Hasek's enjoying himself here. If this was a regular season game, he gets so focused, it's hard to even talk to him during a game. He just gets focused. He's loud. He talks to his teammates. He directs traffic back there. And here you can see he just relaxed. And Mike, he's been sitting there for 3 hours before he finally got into the net, and he's stopping everything. He's just a fabulous, fabulous goaltender.
We mentioned Buffalo on a tear. The top teams at the break: Colorado, Philadelphia, Pittsburgh, Florida, Dallas, the Rangers, and Buffalo. Those are the top 7.
And we'll show a lot of those teams next Saturday on Fox. And you know what? The common denominator with those teams right there, Mike, is their goaltending. Each one of those teams, Philadelphia, Ronnie Hextall's had a great year. The Rangers, Mike Richter's had a great year. All the goaltenders here. It's been a goaltender's year.
Shot in front, Fleury lifted it wide of the goal. Fleury handed it on over, and pinching in was Darian Hatcher, hoping for a pass. Sundin then tried for him, but it's Jeff Sanderson bringing it back. Sanderson drops. Howard Chuck there. It went off a skate to Lindros.
Get the sense that Theo Fleury may be even double shifted here a little bit.
I think
back
so.
On the ice again.
Centering pass, and unable to get a shot away with Sanderson, but then it was poked to the glass by Robert Svela.
Look at Fleury. He's trying to hold up Howard Chuck. He's right into this thing. He made the defensive play a moment ago when the East couldn't get the shot on Hebert.
Well, we've talked about some remarkable recoveries from health problems. Theo Fleury has been dogged by one all his career. If he touches this, it's illegal. So he allowed the East to do it and then hoped to battle for it, but could not. It is Robert Svela, hacked at by Fleury. Pass ahead, went off of Bondra. Bondra moving in and diving out was Hebert, and then he hooked it away. And the fans respond to that play. Here is Hull handing over. In front, Tverdovsky could not connect. And then Leclerc. And then Bondra. Tverdovsky turns. Oates able to take it away. Flips one over for Bondra. Bondra sent one in. That's deflected into the goal by John Leclerc. Great hand-eye coordination, and it is the 11th goal for the East.
Leclerc had 51 goals last year. He's 27 years of age. He's impossible to contain down low. When we talk down low, it's down around the goal net, deep in the zone. And here he shows remarkable hands. He's watching the puck. He sees it shot, the stick's loose, and just a little deflection. Knocked the puck down. He didn't knock it up. He knocked it down with a stick. Knocked it down, and Hebert had trouble with it. There you see Bondra spinning towards the net. Look at Leclerc. Knock it down. Right through Hebert, changing direction, and John Leclerc of the Philadelphia Flyers on the assist from Bondra and Oates gets the goal scored.
The Sherwin-Williams paint store up in St. Albans, Vermont is closed now, but they had help today. Robert and Beverly, John's parents, did not work the store. They're in Philadelphia babysitting their grandchild because John wanted to bring his wife out to the All-Star game, and they said that'd be fine with them. We've got enough people to watch the store.
And the parents still getting it done for their sons. And that's something even at this age.
Here is Hull in a 3-on-2. Shank back along for Yzerman to knock down. Play continues as it's Bondra. So nearing the halfway point of the third period, it's the East by 5. Oates wanting to make it 6. Could not get a pass away. Steered out in there, Scott Stevens. Let's see if Hitchcock answers with Fleury here since Stevens is out. Moved in by Oates around to Leclerc. Leclerc with 2 goals today. Mark Recchi has the hat trick for the East. Owen Nolan has 2 for the West. Stevens shot ricocheted over for Adam Oates to play again. Wrapped around for Al McInnes. McInnes of the West just bounced one back up that Hull had trouble with. Hull, Yzerman, and Shanahan the line that is coming off now for the West. Peter Bondra worked it across to Leclerc in front to Oates. And a save made by Guy Hebert. You know, I had a chance yesterday, John, to ask Guy Hebert, you ever have pictures of goalies on your wall when you were a kid? I said, yeah, Jockeman, Cheevers, Ferrant, and Patrick Waugh.
And welcome back to the San Jose Arena. I'm Joe Micheletti down at ice level. And Dale Hunter, your 17th season in the National Hockey League. You finally get a chance to play in an All-Star game. What's it mean to you?
Well, it means a lot. It's quite an honor to come here and play with the greats of the game, and it's been a lot of fun. And just out there watching them make the great plays, it's it's something special to see.
Yeah, you played a very tough style of hockey for a long, long time, and to come out here, you having fun in this wide-open game?
Oh, yeah, it's lots of fun. It's just watching these guys perform what they do, and the goaltending have to play so well because everyone's a great guy coming down, so it's just a great time.
Congratulations on the night.
Thank you, Joe.
Mike, back up to you and JD.
Pretty good goaltending we just saw on the Gretzky shot.
Hebert robbing Wayne Gretzky. You know, January 8th, David Poyle, who runs the Washington Capitals, he's their general manager, called the players in and told them that Dale Hunter was going to be on the All-Star team in the game, the commissioner's choice. Dale was there. The teammates stood up and gave him a standing ovation. They appreciate what he's done for the Washington Capitals as teammates. We're talking about Dale Hunter. He plays it tough, Mike, but he's a great teammate.
Has his family here, and where did they go on the off day? Alcatraz. Pivoting with it is Korea. Dumps it in front of Ozolinsh. Oh, and a save and another shot on. Hasek got that too.
There you go. The first one, Hasek stops with his left leg. The second one, he reaches back with his left arm and makes the save on the rebound. He led the NHL in save percentage 3 consecutive years. Shots saved, goals to go in. The percentage was high. Korea sets up this shot. Ozolinsh save. Watch the rebound. Watch the rebound. Watch the rebound. Here it comes, that left hand. Oh, baby, Hasek.
Start your Super Bowl weekend with the NHL on Fox. Saturday afternoon, NHL coverage begins at 3 Eastern. Rangers, Pittsburgh, Detroit, Philly, Colorado, Boston, Tampa Bay, and Florida. Fleury in on the draw with Messier. We recognize we have business to do at stoppages of play, but there was a hilarious scene that went on here during the stoppage. A shot by Amonte from 50 feet blocked off by Dominic Hasek, who's just been splendid. Another drive. On the big screen, they showed an appearance by Wayne Gretzky on Saturday Night Live. Dancing. How else would you describe what he was singing?
He was pulling off an Elvis Presley is what he was doing.
Young lady was there, and the two of them were very close. And then at the end, there was a close-up of him at the bench and superimposed over the big screen, nice moves, Wayne. And everybody had a great laugh on that. Alfredson. Save made by Hebert. A moment ago I mentioned about the pictures. Martin Brodeur said that it was Patrick Roy that he had a picture of up on his wall too. And now they're playing in the same game with him. Fleury moving in. Fleury flips. Amante sets. Nolan nearly had the hat, but a marvelous stop by Hasek. In front again, and repeated tries by Nolan are stopped by Dominik Hasek.
You know that the line mates knew that Owen Nolan was going for the hat trick. Look at the look on his face. Amante and Fleury's been awesome here in the third period, as has this guy who finally gets up. Look at Fleury. Look at Fleury to Amante. He knows Nolan's there. Save with a catching glove. Now Hasek will just sometimes, it looks like he's making snow angels in the snow. He'll get on his back, start waving his arms and legs, but he'll make saves. He doesn't do it by the book. He does it his way, and it works. He's lost his stick. The puck goes to the front. He's got no stick. He's still got his pads down on the ice. Look how his pad faces the play, Mike. Straight up and down, even though it's on its side. And the Dominator was there.
Centering pass again. A backhander is saved by Hasek. Tony Granato with a backhand attempt, and Hasek got that one too. Brought back on now and shoveled by Bork. Howard chuck across, big shot, scorched wide by Jeff Sanderson. Well, Hasek preparing as on comes Granato. Tried for Kristich. Scott Stevens nudged it behind. Lindros sped it off, but then it's Tverdovsky. 15 saves for Dominik Hasek in this period.
And there's still 7:12 to go.
And a lot of spectacular ones in that 15.
It's just a normal night for Hasek. He's that good. I just think when you see him play at this level, when Buffalo continues to improve and make a serious run in the playoffs, it'll be interesting to watch Hasek play.
Eric Lindros on McInnes.
No,
Did he swagger by? No.
You look at Patrick Roy, he's maybe the most mentally tough goaltender in the league. In fact, he is. There's no doubt about it. Van Beesbrook's also tough in that respect. But to see Hasek would be something.
Sanderson to Lindros, and the shot went wide. Boy, when the handicappers among the fan population start thinking in terms of who could be a dark horse for the championship and who could really surprise, when you have a goaltender of this quality, you have to consider Buffalo.
Oh, yeah. Hasek will give them a chance in every game. And we should mention Hebert, too. He's played really well.
Faced a scorching shot from Bondra that ricocheted up the boards, and this is a 3-on-1. Keith Tkachuk tried to feed it across. It was blocked by Leach. Chelios put it into the glove of Hasek, and play is stopped.
I'd like to mention Kenny Hitchcock, the coach of the West. He's got Owen Nolan back on the ice again, trying to get him the third goal. Here's Hasek. He's down, he's up. He takes the puck right off the logo on his chest. He drops his stick. He does that a lot to control rebounds with both hands. He'll do that a lot. He just dropped the stick and go after the puck with his loose hand. And again, Owen Nolan was on the ice. He's back on the ice. Ken Hitchcock, whom you're looking at, realizes that Owen Nolan has a chance at the hat trick, and the fans here would love it, and he's playing to the fans. And a nice ovations and some noise now, Mike.
George Seifert, they are standing to salute him here. The man who was responsible for so much 49er glory. Fans are standing here and craning their necks to look back at him, to spot him in one of the executive boxes here. Fed on by Leach and all the way back down.
That was a shock here in this area that he decided to leave the coaching ranks of the San Francisco 49ers.
Oh, Chelios. Bailed out by his goaltender. Hebert. Pass is cut by Leach. Well, it was a surprise here. Here's Bury in front. Oh, and the Dominator beat him too.
And he made the snow angel on top of it.
This is called in the zone, Joe.
He's been in the zone for about 4 years, Mike. That's how good he is.
Ozolinsh hurried it ahead, and Sundin is there. And then Bury. Knocked away by Leach and Ozolinsh. 5:15 left, third period. Boy, there have been some spectacular plays. We hope you've enjoyed this. Here's Nolan around in front. Save, another shot, another save as he denied two men of hat tricks. First Nolan and then Bury.
You got an all-star game here. Bury skating away from the net, slamming his stick on the ice in frustration. And Hasek, he won't tire. He just loves this. He sweeps away with his stick, yet he still stacks his pads, and he's got his glove now above his pads. The top side was open. Now watch the goal stick. He can't reach the puck. So he stacks his pads. Bingo. Look at the glove. The catching glove. Perfect position up there. Just in case the puck's above the pads, he's got the catching glove there. Bourret, Nolan. And there's a snow angel, folks, as Hasek stops the pass from getting across to Owen Nolan as his team is really trying to set up Nolan for that hat trick goal. Dominik Hasek, dead perfect, 17 for 17. And he's been just fun to watch.
Kevin Hatcher got a call on a hook, and so the Dominator will have to watch a power play. All right, now you consider him for MVP?
Absolutely. And if he stops his power play for 2 minutes, he may have a great shot at it. Nolan's back on the ice for the West, as if he scores here, the fans will love it. The Shark music is going.
And they were doing the chomp. Here's Yzerman moving in. Then along for Shanahan. To Nolan. McInnes. Nolan set at the side of the net to the left to take the pass. Brett Hull is behind. Shanahan working the outside to Yzerman. Close quarter passing. Nolan trying to get position at the front of the net on Paul Coffey. Yeah, they're doing their best to get it to him, aren't they? That shot went wide.
4 forwards on the ice for the West. 1 defenseman, and that's the big shooter, McInnes.
I guess it's not a surprise, is it?
Oh, not really.
Yzerman spins it around behind. Hull there. In front, Nolan, and a save made by Hasek.
And it continues. It's game on. Brett Hull just skated by Hasek and was yelling at him. Hasek threw his hands up in the air and said, sorry.
It's played ahead for Shanahan. Halfway through the power play.
Heads up.
And it's Wayne Gretzky. Gretzky hurrying it ahead now for Lemieux. Very deliberately walking on Yzerman. Lemieux drops Gretzky there. Flipped one off Yzerman's stick, and he recovers. The captain of the Detroit Red Wings spinning the net, and the pass went off McInnes. 40 seconds still to kill. Yeah, these games often lean toward the offensive players. There have been goaltenders picked as MVP, but it doesn't happen often, especially in the 90s. Ozelinch with a backhander that's knocked down and fed back by Bork.
I remember the game in Los Angeles. Mike Liut had an outstanding period of play there, half a game, I guess it was in those days. And he was picked the MVP, very similar to what Hasek's doing here.
How did he stop that one?
That was Solani on the deflection, and Hasek, who works on his lateral movement every day. Every single day at practice, he works at moving side to side. He just said, what a stop. And look at Hasek. He's enjoying the moment. Hasek, the puck deflected to Solani. The net was open on that side, and the feet, the quick lateral movement. Watch Hasek get to his right, to where his stick is. One move, he's across there, and he's down. He just closes everything off, and the puck's deflected into his body. Watch him move to the right. The legs are closed. The arms will go into the body. Boom. I mean, he just shuts it right off. He is special.
The only complaint he's had so far is that because of all the bad weather in the Midwest, his flight got messed up in Chicago when he was changing planes, and it really delayed him. Seems to have had a real effect, hasn't it? Chelios on into Ozelinch. Behind now to Solani, to Korea in front. Canceled out enough for the checking of Mark Recchi. Under 3 minutes to go in the game. Chelios a shot that floated wide. Came over to Ozelinch. Taken away by Svela. Oh, and Nolan's getting a rest right now. Play back to full strength hockey.
Mike, why don't you explain plus minus?
Thank
I'm just going to say, well, you can do it better than me. Svela is +6 in this game.
Number that you're on for against the number against Recchi trying for 4, and they discount power plays in that.
Good. See, you said it so nice, so quick. Svela's had a big night. He's +6.
Owen Nolan plays a tough game, though that toughness pales to the violence he was born to in Belfast. But Nolan was a fortunate son. His parents moved him to Canada as a small child.
Well, I think they moved here with good intentions to raise me up in a less violent area. And, you know, definitely there was some sacrifice there with leaving family. But, I mean, we've got family here now, and I think it worked out for the best.
Shoulder injury a couple of years ago really put a question mark over Owen Nolan's career. But you were saying that some of the family is here, and they have turned the key in a few establishments?
Yeah, they've enjoyed themselves in this Bay Area.
Amante forced off by Cicerelli. 2 minutes and 10 seconds to go here. The shots are 44-39 in favor of the West. And here comes Nolan for the hat again. He points. Score! Off the post, and here comes the hat.
You know, Mark Messier must be a team guy, even though he's on the other team. He lost the puck, and Nolan was right there on the breakaway. He pointed. And sure enough, it took a shot off the goalpost crossbar to beat Dominik Hasek. And the Hats are on the ice for the hat trick. Messier tries the move, overskates the puck. Nolan, now watch him point. There he goes, baby. It's one-on-one. He got Dominik Hasek bending down. He went up top, and where's the smile? There it comes. Watch him point. Hasek's glove goes down, the puck goes up. The glove went down, Nolan shot it right up top. Can you believe he called the shot? Look at him, one-on-one snapper. He scored 2 goals in this game, up high, catching glove side. That one's unassisted as Messier overskated the puck. Look at the look. I'm coming to get you, man. Here we go. One-on-one, top corner. And they're still standing. Come on, where's the smile? There it is. How about that? Oh, baby.
Joe Micheletti.
Okay, Owen Nolan, you finally got that when you had enough chances, didn't you?
This guy kills me all season. He's doing me here, too, when I finally got it by him.
He kills a lot of people. How'd that make you feel in this great crowd giving you the terrific ovation when you got the third?
Well, just being here is great enough, but to get 1 goal and then 3, I mean, this is just crazy.
Congratulations on the great night.
Thanks a lot.
Okay, Mike, JD.
2 minutes, 3 seconds to go in the third period. He finally got the third one. Mike, it's made the night here.
Yeah,
it really has. Hasek's goaltending has been spectacular in the third period. For Nolan to get the third goal and a hat trick in front of his home crowd, I don't be talking about this, man, for a long time. It's been fabulous. What a show.
It's a celebration of hockey. And they've been celebrating it all afternoon into the early evening hours out here in the West. 18 total goals, 84 total shots. The purists would say, well, that's a lot of scoring, but it's not cracked up that way. It's cracked up to celebrate the sport and to emphasize the tremendous skills that these guys have to get here and have a great time. Nobody seems to be too discouraged.
No, and it's a celebration of the season that these particular players have had. And it's a thrust for the rest of the season. These players, you've seen the smiles on their faces. You've seen what they've been able to do. We've had a little bit of everything. Of course, 18 goals, but it's been fun.
Lindros. Oh, man. A headhunter to the glass. Little exclamation point on the day.
Yeah, that might have deflected off a stick. At least I hope it did.
Leach nearly had it knocked away by Tkachuk, but he got plenty of help and now can play again. During the last 90 of the tilt.
You know, if Tony Granato ever got one.
Oh, yeah.
Nolan is the chance.
Lindros tried to get through, but it's Leach. Stevens answered by E.A. Bear.
Last shift coming up for the East. Gretzky just came on. Lemieux's coming on. And Messier. And this is a tribute to Mario Lemieux. Oh, what a save on Kristich. But this is a tribute right here from Doug McLean and the coaching staff of the East. This is Mario Lemieux, probably his very last ever All-Star game, and Mario Lemieux's out there.
Well, these are the last 7 MVPs. Ray Bourque, there was no game in '95 because of the lockout. Mike Richter, Mike Gartner, Aldon Foos, Lemieux, and Gretzky. Maybe we get another goaltender to join Mike Richter in the 1990s.
Look at this.
There it is.
I credit Doug McLean and Paul Maurice, the coaching staff for the East, putting the big boys on the ice. The last shift of this game. And Mario, maybe and probably the last shift he'll ever play in an NHL All-Star game. He's been a pleasure, a real pleasure, and he's really enjoyed himself here in San Jose.
Sundin for Nolan. Well, here they are. Gretzky and Lemieux, like in '87, but that one didn't materialize, nor was there as much at stake.
No, Gretzky really tried to set up Mario on the play after Ray Bourque set up Gretzky on the outlet.
Coffey to Gretzky. 25 left. For Messier and then Coffey. But cut off at the front.
Another good note, too, is Ray Bourque on the ice. He has said since he's been here in San Jose, he'll play another 2 years. That'll give him 20. What a wonderful career he's had, and that's good news for hockey fans.
We are back in the last 4 seconds, and Nolan had a shot at a 4-goal game, but the horn sounds. The East, 11. The West, 7. And hockey has won something special here for the fans in San Jose, who should be rewarded for 106 consecutive sellouts for a team that over its time has never been above 500. A reward to see all of the great stars play here today, and one of their guys wind up with 3 goals and bring this crowd to its feet.
It was just fun. The game, yes, there's a lot of scoring. It was a 4-goal win by the East. But the fans here enjoyed it. There's an ovation happening right now. Hasek was spectacular in goal. Mario, well, we still have half a season ahead of us to watch him play and treat the fans to a great season. This was fun, a lot of fun.
We will return with the announcement of the most valuable player of this All-Star game as they are handshaking at center ice, 11-7 East.